Welcome to El Profe's Classroom, classes in session. And what we're going to be talking about right now is the new film from writer and director, very well known to us in the geekosphere, Sam Raimi. Uh, the film is 2026's Send Help. And this is a film that is definitely not what I was expecting. I saw the trailer and I thought it was an interesting film. It it's sort of like Castaway meets I don't know, Castaway meets The Evil Dead, but with no demons or anything like that. Uh, what I'll say about this film, and I'll get to my thoughts later. This film, obviously, I already said it. It was directed by Sam Raimi, who you know from the Evil Dead franchise and the early Spider-Man films. Uh, it's also written by Damien Shannon and Mark Swift, who you know from Friday the newer Friday the 13th, and they're a writing team, and they did also Wait Baywatch. So it's also like I guess that's a good mix. It's a mix of Baywatch in terms of its tonal comedic, style, uh, along with a film like Friday the 13th in terms that it's kind of gory. It's more gory than I expected. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. This is a Sam Raimi film, and he directed Drag Me to Hell and Evil Dead 2. So I shouldn't be surprised. That's on me. It's also a film that doesn't have a lot of actors. It's basically the two-man team. Rachel McAdams, who she's very well known as, you know, being in Mean Girls, The Notebook, uh, films like Red Eye. There's a bunch of films that Rachel McAdams has been in, and also Dylan O'Brien, who's a little bit less known, unless you're a big fan of the Teen Wolf series. He was in Teen Wolf, and he was also in the Maze Runner franchise. So, what's the story of Send Help? It's a quite simple story. Also, Dylan O'Brien's character, basically, his father dies, and he inherits uh, his father's company, and he starts making changes that rub basically his the company's more experienced and more knowledgeable employees the wrong way, especially uh, the character played by Rachel McAdams, Linda, who has been with his father for like 7 years, and she has been basically the workhorse of this company, and she gets passed off. She's kind of this is one of the things that I don't love about this film. She's kind of portrayed as this so weird. She has no social skills. She dresses strange. She has this all these quirks that make her very not just unattractive, but also um, they want to be able to have these frat boy corporate douches, rag on her and make her feel less than. But I feel it's kind of too easy. They could have gone. They could have done that in a way that didn't have to feel like it's low hanging fruit. I guess it's what I'm trying to say. And if you've seen the film, I don't know if you agree with me, but it has that fine kind of feeling. They make this character Linda, and they call her. Her name is Linda Little, but not with double T, with DLE. It's kind of it's so it makes for it to be way too easy. So they take her and they take the whole team to a work trip, and the plane goes down. The only two survivors are her boss, played by O'Brien, and Linda. And obviously, they're not getting along, so they have to survive in this deserted island. And I'm not gonna tell too much because I guess that it does have its twists, so I don't want to ruin those. But I think Rachel McAdams is good, but it's it's film that's, I think, a little bit too campy for me. I think the gore is great. It looks great. There's some CGI things that really don't look that good, but I think what they did with how gory it is, that works. It's just when they do the CGI that it looks weird. It doesn't look as great, which is it's a shame. But CGI is expensive, so uh, the film gives you two characters that are not very uh, relatable, I guess. And it's not that you can't relate to Linda, because I think a lot of people can relate to her. You know, you're you're the workhorse, you're the one that does all the work, everybody else takes credit for your work, but they give her all these quirks that make the character feel a little bit too cartoonish for my taste. And the ending is it's like 15 or to 20 minutes of insaneness, um, which I guess it's enjoyable after almost 2 hours of surviving in this island. Um, what can I say? This film. I think it's a little bit. It was for me. It was not as great as I thought it could be. I think making these characters not likable at all makes you nobody to root for when you have two characters that are you know clashing. So that hurts it a little bit in my eyes. And it's not that I don't like characters that are terrible people. I've already talked about this in during Marty Supreme. But when both the characters are like that, and both are competing against each other, I guess in this sense, trying to survive, it just doesn't seem to work for me. So I would probably give this film 2.5 stars out of 5. Um, it's missing something. It has some of the technical elements of a Sam Raimi film, but it's lacking, I think, the heart of the Evil Dead franchise and stuff like that. So, what's your favorite Sam Raimi film? Let me know. Did you see Send Help in the theaters or anywhere else? What do you think about the film? Do you think it's a return to form for Raimi, or just another dud? Let me know what you think. Class dismissed.